go down. The use of the grapple and the shock. Royal 2 now in the pipes. The face takes down one, but goes down shortly after. 24-2 off the start as Space Station tries to get that oddball back into gold. They go down in the process.
We're seeing more of the same already. The Slays pretty even, maybe hardly now favoring Shopify, but Space Station had won the opening break and got no oddball time for it. They opted to wait for the next cycle, get some more Slays before grabbing the oddball, but you see the way that Shopify play it. They just see the opportunity to snag the ball and run away, and for that they have earned the lead. I think Space Station need to be a bit more efficient if they're going to come out on top of this one.
Well, since fantasy was part of the discussion to start the day here, let's bring up one guy whose stats are kind of blowing my mind.
Oh my
Cycle.
God.
1-9-1. Now Caster Cursed goes down for the second time, but Mike
Frosty.
A 5.0 KDA to start off, and it's 5-0 on the board for Rebellion.
Yeah, 9 assists. Like, how are you positioning yourself so flawlessly on the map that you're able to have already assisted in 9 engagements? That
All right,
just
what is up,
crazy.
guys?
Also, almost certainly giving
Watching the
boons, right? Like, having
Halo Keyzone tournament right now.
Speaking clearly so your teammates know where to look to finish those kills or help you in those engagements. So Cycle doing a lot. Royal 2 with the most ball time certainly has turned a new leaf on this roster. I feel like if you look at his stats in the last 5 to 10 years, might have the lowest oddball time in the entire league. Not sure, but he's definitely stepped up and changed his ways here.
Well, if I had to use the test to take the test, I would assume that Frosty and Royal 2 have been the benefactor of those 9 assists. You can see the parallel between Cycle's 9 assists and Frosty's 9, now 10 slays, as Rebellion have really come off to a hot start here. 63-3. It's a full minute advantage on SSG.
They're playing so efficient, like they're simultaneously fighting, dropping the balls at the perfect times. Here, Cycle tries to catch him off guard, but Snakebite with a great double melee there, able to respond to the pressure. Finally, an opening, perhaps.
But we are Optic fans here. We're Optic fans.
Gonna have to get backed up by Royal 2. They're using grenades perfectly to zone Eco away, and then also to finish him off.
Not gonna talk trash about anybody else.
I mean, this is just perfect, efficient
like,
gameplay. They're just
if you prefer one of the other teams, all good.
Eli,
but
I hate to say it, but does this not look exactly?
That was disgusting.
Like, we're on land, but it might as well be
Alright,
online
Royal
because
2.
the results in the early going, the early glimpse, has looked just like online. This is exactly what we saw last Sunday as Cycle grabs the oddball once again. Just 20 seconds separating.
I'm really just waiting for the Shopify Rebellion and Optic Gaming. Waiting for that game.
Better against the likes of Space Station. Literally 4 world champions on the other side, and Shopify are making it look like a walk in the park. I mean, this doesn't even look like they're having to struggle. I mean, in the kill feed, the rest of Space Station are going down.
Wow.
Cycle just
easy round 1 for Shopify. Easy round 1.
You know something about that, don't you?
I do. One of my more toxic moments in my career. Anyways, let's see.
They might need the boost. In that smoothie, they need the creatine, they need the energy, they need the chia seeds. They Space Station might need to go run across the street and grab a smoothie because again, I'm seeing what kind of worried about them last week is that they look asleep and now they're all asleep. 4 go down. Shopify continue their flawless start in the 50K.
It's a slow start for Space Station. I don't think this format does them any favors. You know, I've always thought of players like Stellar and Eco as players that get better as the tournament progresses, but they're having to start against the best team in the world right now, and it's not looking great. You don't have time to catch up in a series like this. Hopefully in the process of this,
it's crazy. I feel like Space Station should be such a better team. I feel like they should be much closer to Shopify and Optic and FaZe. It seems like there's really like a fairly large gap right now between Optic Gaming, Shopify, Rebellion, and FaZe to the rest of the HCS right now.
And look how quickly he's pushing to clamp down on these spawns. That takes an errant look towards Lucid. and gets distracted by the push on the C platform. But it is more of the same here in round 2. Rebellion are dominating Space Station.
This is clinical. Frosty is 19-8. I know Tools is smiling in the background right now after that's his draft pick is popping off. But this just... Okay, finally, Space Station showing some signs of life, but in the process, Frosty is already rotating the ball away, and despite getting a few slays, Lucid gets taken down, and now Snakebite is running into a brick wall that is Cycle, and this ball is continuing to be held. Frosty says, okay, now that you're dead, I'm just going to rotate it back. I mean, this is perfect right now.
How demoralizing is that? Guys, we've got the slays to push through. We can finally break their setup. What the? Frosty took the oddball to the other side of the map. How did he get there? I mean, that's probably what the comms sound like from Elamite and the rest of SSG. The rotation has been phenomenal, and there you see him go to C from gold and then uses the tower to decide whether or not he wants to take it back to C or into gold. But a little bit of a interception there from Stellar. Takes the grapple back, but with Frosty on his heels, how long can he hold on to it for? Not long.
A cheeky little kidnap situation there from Stellar. He actually had the grapple. He says, oh, you want to leave the ball in the open? I'll just snag that real quick. Chucks it off the map. Tries to buy some time for his team, but it might have actually been exactly what they needed here. Yeah, they lost a few players in the process, and now Cycle spawning in the elevator, but yeah, the collapse comes through. They're able to kill them, and now finally might have a chance. No, they're just getting ran at. Stellar with some nice shots, but I don't know how much longer he can survive. The rest of Shopify are on their way.
I mean, dude, this is unbelievable. And how tough for Space Station when you have 2 good plays. The first one, you took down more members than you had. You had a positive net outcome in the situation, more slays than deaths. And then in the next one, you get a nice little grapple steal, oddball rotation, and all you have to show for it is 6 seconds. This is domination that we're witnessing here on land from Rebellion as they look like the...
This is not close.
I mean, they've looked
at all.
To beat all off season, if you ask me. We got faded from
like, this is... this is kind of rough right now.
It's a little bit early to call it. Right now, Space Station in a world of hurt. How does Shopify play now, though? They're the ones in kind of the position where they have to be the ones to push forward. Frosty has noted that their timing is typically very good. They have the same game plan when they push forward. That's why they have so much success. And we see an example of that. They get 3 dead. Ball is held for a moment. Frosty drops it so he can go for the camo. And someone else is there to pick it up. I mean, more and more efficiency, and this could be the end of the game, Hunter.
Dude.
Yeah, game 1, not close at all.
Step on the gas here, but he's at 1 HP, so that grenade toss might just take him down. Keeps him at 1 shot, but he's got help. Snakebite's there, so too is Eco. So we see the numbers to gather more time, and that's what they're doing. But they have no room for error. 97 on the board for Rebellion, needing just 3 more seconds. That's just a sliver of hold. So we're gonna have to see flawless, perfectly played Halo, better than what we've seen from Rebellion so far. Can SSG do it? No. We start to see Rebellion break through. Looked like Snakebite had the door closed, but he did not. Cycle takes down another. That's 3 in total. And the 3 extra that Rebellion needed to secure a brief-looking 2-0 sweep in game 1.
I need to see more creativity out of Space Station, man. It felt like a lot of their options were just too predictable. You saw there at the very end, they finally break through. They get a nice setup.
So far apart.
All Shopify do on spawn is wait for them to throw all their grenades, and then they throw grenades with good timing to do the damage, and then they push through and they win the fight and they win the round. So
200 to 38 is wild.
Opting for are just too predictable, and Shopify's playing a game of chess. They're waiting for that option to happen, and then they're using the perfect counter strategy every time.
I think a lot of people in chat are wondering, is Eco over the hill? And I say that with no disrespect. I know he's one of the GOATs, one of the legends, but Father Time catches up to us all eventually. And is it that time for Eco? That's what I think a lot of people are wondering after the 4 events to start Season 4 online, and now this first glimpse of his gameplay on LAN is Frosty. He looks spry as ever.
Yeah, I think that's a bit early to say. It's 1 game of oddball here. I think Space Station have been getting better. I mean, what's really interesting about Halo Infinite is, like, in one single game, it can look like one team is absolutely dominating the other because it is such a snowbally game, right? And yeah, the opportunities that Space Station got were quickly squandered multiple times. But that doesn't mean that Space Station can't just turn around and win the next game by 15 kills. Like, it happens all the time where one team looks to be extremely...
Right, because I bought game 1 to Shopify.
Back quickly. I think that Space Station, they're still figuring
Slayer
some of the brightest
Origin.
ever touched the game.
Game 2.
They're coming up with some ways to get themselves back in the series.
I'm really hoping it's Space Station at least, because this is only a 4-team tournament this weekend. So I'm really hoping that Space Station can put up a little bit more of a fight than that.
You get some random third or fourth, and they're not using comms, and they're on the opposite side of the map, looking away from the action. It just looks like Space Station looks lost. It looks like they're not all keying in on the same thing. They're not all focusing on the objective at the right time, right place. They just look lost, and I can't put my finger on it, Eli. I'm gonna have to swing the question to you because you're the big brain analyst. What is it that makes Space Station look like a team that's loading into matchmaking rather than a team that's supposed to defend the World Championship?
Feels like a comfortability thing to me. I mean, these guys just haven't found a way to feel comfortable together. There's a lot of hesitation in their pushes. Their timing is just ever so slightly off in so many engagements. It doesn't feel like they have a cohesive, shared understanding of how they want to play the game. They're coming from very different teams, right? I mean, Eco and Stellar on their previous team had Bound and Legend just running people down constantly. Stellar could comfortably hold like midline engagements. He's very aggressive, but he usually had people in front of him like Bound and Legend. Now I don't know who's going to be in front of him on this team. I think that you kind of need somebody to start running at people, and no one on SSG is currently doing that. And then maybe one of these players that understands that's what they need, they try to do it, but it's not quite their comfort zone, so they're not as effective as another player who naturally wants to play that way. I don't know. They're not on the same page, and it's apparent right now.
Well, it's still early in the day, still early in the off season leading up to season 4. So they got time, but man, it's ticking. It's the loud reverberated tick tock of the clock as SSG got to figure it out, and they don't have much time or games left to do that. They're already down 1-0 in this series, and just based on the eye test, I don't really quite see a path towards a win here in Origin Game 2, but I guess that's part of the part of the benefit to them. Put the game in the past, put it behind them, and load up into this Game 2 like Game 1 never even happened. I don't know what the rallying cry sounds like for SSG, because they just look really outmatched by Rebellion in that Game 1. And again, Eli, it looked a lot like what online looks like, which is kind of opposite of what the what the sentiment is this is land, it's going to be different, there's a land buff, and I haven't quite seen it yet.
I mean, the reality is, even if SSG does have a land buff, like, I mean, Shopify might also have one. You're talking about two guys that have won world championships on land, and they got two young superstars on their team as well. So I think that Shopify is going to be even better on land as well. Keep in mind, Royal 2 lives in an igloo in northern Canada, and like now he's finally unlocked. He was winning tournaments on like 90, 100 ping just this last weekend. So you have to imagine a player like Royal 2 is going to feel a lot better now on land, and if they were already winning, that's just bad news for everybody else.
Yeah, the land buff is a tide raising all boats scenario, right? Like everybody gets the land buff, and who better to receive the land buff than a team that's got a guy in Canada playing on 100 ping, and then a guy in Tennessee playing on Starlink internet with his chickens holding the router together. I mean, it's like if anyone's getting the land buff, it's Rebellion. As we kick off our Game 2 Slayer on Origin, hopping on board here with Frost.
I just imagine like putting some chicken feed in like a hamster wheel and putting the chickens on it to power the router. It's not quite like that, but
there's like a wheel and
okay, Frosty.
It's not quite like that. His connection looks fine when I watch his screen. But anyways, hopping on to Origin, I was gonna say, I think if we had almost any other map for the Slayer Game 2, I could maybe see a way for Space Station to get back into this, but Shopify have looked so solid on this map, and Frosty specifically, I mean, this guy, this is his home.
I really like this map.
Have we seen him post on this map?
Beautiful.
Why he has such a good understanding of the angles at which he wants to snipe from. He has a great understanding of the spawns, so he can predict where people are at. I mean, look at this spot. He's getting a little high ground.
Okay.
Doesn't hit the shot, but at the same time retreats perfectly to make sure he stays alive with his snipe.
Yeah, this is big here as Frosty wants to retain control of that power weapon. Already landed a headshot, but the pressure is too strong in the cave. That's going to take him down. 8-8 here off the start, so we're starting to see a little bit of life, a little bit of bounce back in Space Station.
Okay, Lucid now with the snipe. He's on my fantasy team, so I'm biased right now. I want him to hit a couple snipes here. I've kept it close, 8-8. And I like the way that Space Station's kind of positioning themselves around Lucid. So Lucid is often not going to be the first person looked at. And wow, what
that's
an insane
disgusting.
shot. I don't know what happened to audio for a second, but that was fantastic position from Lucid to expect that player to jump and then also having the reaction time to hit the shot.
Yeah, Lucid ripped the audio out of our ears as he ripped the face of his opponent. Space Station now in the lead, up by 3, making a full team wipe, 14-10 here. As the
sees
Slay
another.
prowess is showing out here. Lucid, a big reason why, sitting at 4-4-2. Doing it all as it relates to slays and damage.
Good shot from every
Frosty
angle.
ends that run for now and keeps Rebellion close, down 2.
Okay, Space Station actually doing a good job here. I want to see how they play with the advantage, though. It looks like when Stellar goes down, they're not really pushing. They're not pushing the situation. They actually kind of fighting for this snipe side of the map. Frosty, though, just holding this elbow side, he's able to cover a huge part of the map, overlook his teammates. If any of these weakened players enter his sight line, he should be able to pick them off. But Stellar gets the assassination on last shot somehow, gets cleaned up right after. But honestly, Space Station hold on to this lead pretty well.
Tied now, 18-all, as Frosty looks to claim the top side of Rockets.
Trying to get Rockets,
themselves,
nice.
Utilizing the thrust to make it a little bit safer grab, but he's already taking some shots in the back.
Nice.
Former teammate drops down, and he'll drop back to the respawn screen. 20-19 here as Rebellion and Space Station have kept it close. Really no way to tell which way this one's going to go just yet, but Frosty picks up where he left off. And the conversation at the start, Tools really made it a point to talk about that power weapon percentage. We're seeing it here. Frosty with the headshot snipe, Frosty with a couple rocket kills. We're seeing how he stacks up the slays. But
Snakebite with a 2-piece.
23-all.
Yeah, Space Station done a good job to hold down the snipe side for a majority of this game. And just like that, Stellar gets a double. This is the moment that I want to see SSG stay aggressive, because historically in these online tournaments,
Keep going.
after they get 2 dead, they're not moving enough to really put the pressure on, and the same exact problem happens.
Good snipe, Lucid.
But Lucid does have the new sniper, and they do continue to slay out. So maybe I'm faded. I wanted to see a bit more aggression there,
Snakebite
but
gets out.
holding their ground is proving to be effective.
Roll 2. Here's the assist. As 2 go down for Space Station and all 4 up for Rebellion. This is their chance to be aggressive and take advantage of their numbers. They're starting to do just that. Eco goes down. So too does Snakebite. So too does Lucid. But Space Station trade in some of those occurrences and keep it close. 28-27. Eli, this
Space Station only down by 1. Okay.
Love this rotation from Royal 2, but he doesn't full swing all the way.
And they get the
through.
trade, okay.
His plan there was to create a pinch while his opposition was dead. While his teammates hit the left side, he wanted to hit the right side, and but he didn't clear full perimeter, which made him get shot in the back and die. Frosty is able to clean up the situation, but could have got a bit more out of that if they just took the full perimeter.
Cycle now takes down Eco. Eco trying to go for the trade sticky, but that's a hapless effort. Cycle here on the corner. It's a good line of sight across all of the map. Can deal out some initial damage or even clean up on some of it. I think everyone's at full shields though for now for Space Station, so this one's going to start the damage differentiator as Cycle gets the first 2 shots into opponent. Now cleaning up on Snakebite again. The rockets in the hands of Frosty. That has been too much rocket control for Rebellion, and you could argue it's why they're up 3, now 4.
Yeah, every time you pick these up, it
Oh,
should be
super
a
rockets
3
again.
kills. Frosty does make good on that second one. Finds another kill.
Nice.
Trading as well, which is massive. Has a literal pixel for health. Will get his shields back and should be able to re-engage. And just like that, out of nowhere, Shopify are up by 6. Even though Space Station have been looking a bit better this game.
Yeah, it was just 31-30. It was we were talking about how deadlocked the match was, and now Rebellion starting to run away with it in the end game. You can see Frosty just picked up the power weapon on the other side of the map, now waiting for the next sniper to come up in 6 minutes. But before he can do that, he's got some weak players.
Wow.
Oh, but the bait and switch, way too good, way too strong for Snakebite.
He said 6 minutes, he meant 6 seconds until the next power.
Back.
Lucid, though, taking a bit too risky of a route there. The entire map able to shoot him. And they brought this back a little bit. Now only trailing by 4, but it feels like a lot of kills have been trading now. And that, of course, favors the team in the lead right now. Frosty also escapes with the sniper. How does this guy get every power weapon? His sense of timing.
Dude, he has seriously had every single power weapon the entire map.
That, he's letting some shots ring out, so Space Station can't grab the sniper and use it against him. 44 to 41. You could absolutely find 3 power weapon slays that have given Rebellion that advantage. That's been the difference. Frosty looking to line up a no-scope onto Lucid, but Lucid takes him down. And because of Frosty's use of the ammo, Lucid's only got 1 shot left.
Yeah, it's
I thought he had 2.
Part of the idea, right? You got to burn some ammo. That's one of the few win conditions that Space Station had to bring themselves back if they were able to pick up a healthy sniper and put all that ammo to use. But doesn't have as much to work with. Cycle finding a grenade kill on the kill feed.
Doesn't get it.
Goes down, I think that's gonna be
And they get a trade. No, they don't. Royal 2 gets 2.
And then we'll close out game number 2. Space Station, though, I think started to look a lot better in that game, despite still
started to, but
phenomenal high-low collapse on Lucid there. He was the guy. He only had 1
rough.
shot to snipe. That 1 shot to take down 1 for the other team, and then collapse on. Could have brought him back, but they did not allow him any time or space in the corner of Origin to get that going. As Rebellion take it 2-0, leading the series.
Take a look at the stats here. We see Stellar with 17 deaths. To me, that means I think he's like trying to make things happen on the map, but maybe isn't getting as much support as he expects. You know, obviously there's a lot of pressure coming in from Shopify, various parts of the map, so players can't always respond and pay attention to exactly what he's doing. It's just another data point to say these guys are not quite on the same page and flowing the way that we kind of expect them to.
Highlights here off the start. Little back of the cranium headshot there from Frosty. Kicked things off for Rebellion. Gave them that early team-wide lead, but we saw Space Station fighting back. They even had a momentary lead in the game, deep into it, into the 30s. And then it was all Rebellion ever since. And it was all power weapon control ever since. Even in the early goings, Eli, we're still in the 20s, late teens, and we're seeing Frosty with the rockets, and it was too little too late, quite literally, with a second left in the game and a 1 shot left in that sniper rifle for Lucid. We hardly saw them with the power weapons. That was the difference.
Power weapon control, absolutely. Also, Frosty's ability to stay alive. He finished 15-7. Had the least deaths by a wide margin. Looks like they're going to reset the LAN server here before we get into game number 3. But, I mean, that's just another example of Frosty feeling very comfortable on Origin. This team is just very comfortable together as well. It feels like whenever somebody gets called out, that kill is often getting finished. They're so good at understanding what times they want to push forward or pull back. Most of the time, it's just push forward. But they're also winning their 1v1s. I mean, it's a very difficult recipe to defeat right now, and that's why Shopify have won a majority of the tournaments. I did want to talk about real quick, though, how close Shopify and Optic are to each other.
Yep.
These guys, over the course of the off-season tournaments, have tied 20-20 in 40 games. It was a dead even split. On top of that, they just scrimmed, and they tied that as well. It was 7-7, so 27-27.
Dude, the Optic and Shopify matchup right now in Halo is ridiculous. I love it.
You'd think 40 matches would be enough to determine who's better.
Nope.
And I guess you could say Rebellion
40 matches isn't enough.
Won 3 out of 4 of those online open tournaments. But man, when you break down the match v match, it's dead even. And the eye test also feels like that. It doesn't feel like Rebellion are a 3 out of 4 champ disparity over Optic Gaming. It feels more like a 51-49% advantage for them, but they got about a 90% edge in this series, up 2-0, and outside of a few moments in Origin, making it really look easy. And it's that end game execution again in a match that was close. In the end game, the execution is too good for Rebellion. I think that's been a big difference maker outside of just power weapons in that micro. The macro, it's been Rebellion's end game execution. When push comes to shove, when the match is getting close and tight at the end, they seem to always come out on top.
They do. Maybe it's by that man that we see standing behind Rebellion. Best man. He's got so much experience on the sticks and also now off the sticks. Maybe he's one of the voices that helps push them, nudge them in the right direction to properly play those in games. Of course, players on this team would probably be just fine without him. They're all very talented and capable to make those game calls, but it's always helpful to have, you know, someone standing behind you that can see all 4 screens and telling you maybe something that you don't know.
All right, back against the wall for Space Station here. Their winner bracket.
Can they win a map is the question.
50K Invitational might end a little earlier than they might have hoped. As we get going here, Aqua CTF, opening break, initial battle going through, and it's a flawless start.
I do really like CTF on this map.
That's going to give them control of the 50-yard line and the camo.
And of course, Frosty with the camo.
Do unthinkable things to people on this map. I think he dropped something like 37 kills in one of the assault games on Aqua, I think 2 weekends ago. This guy feels absolutely unlocked right now. Has the camo as well. He's been controlling the sandbox so well. Typically just knows the right place, right time. They're getting the several kills here, but have not pulled the flag just yet. I think if they get a couple of kills in this moment, that's when you'll see that flag get pulled.
Frosty 3-0-0, looking to make it 4. But
The thruster use is great by Frosty.
Defensively to try and stay alive, but he'll lose his life. But that was a distraction. Everybody's focused on the
And on the other side, World 2 is tapping the flag.
Already got it into the base, and he hasn't even taken a shot yet.
Yep.
And he's not going to. 1-0.
Doesn't get shot that entire flag run.
To start things off in game 3.
I'm surprised he didn't even get shot at. I guess they had just
Not once.
decided to relinquish it. I mean, the pressure had been alleviated from Space Station's base, but I guess nobody was quite able to find the timing to get into position. Or they just said, you know what, he's going to cap that. Let's just try to prioritize better map positioning for the next engagement, which is probably the right call. But problem is, still winning their fights, they got to take care of Cycle.
Their problem might be bigger than just Cycle here, as SSG and the eye test has been really rough for them. But camo is up in 10, and if you win the 50-yard
trade.
take down Cycle, you might just grab that next power up that could hopefully get things rolling in the right direction for Space Station. As the camo's now up, Snakebite trying to clamber up for it, gather some positioning. But Royal 2, here we go, Snakebite versus Royal 2, but Snakebite calls for help, gets it, and now we're starting to see something from SSG, and it turns into a flag run.
Yeah, this looks like it's going home as well. 2 dead right now. I like the way we saw Snakebite play that last engagement, kind of using himself as bait, made sure that player had gone down, and we might see a double pull here. This flag should be going in, I would imagine. Oh, it was stopped actually,
wow.
So one of these players must have been able to find a sleigh on the car side and made him sweat for it, but yes, it will finally go in.
Yeah, tied
Did a
1-1.
good job to mitigate the damage though, and does not end up as a double cap situation.
It took a little longer than we anticipated, especially with seemingly 3-4 down for Rebellion, but ultimately Space Station put it in, tie things up at 1 at the 9-minute mark as Lucid trying to stay alive here, P1, but his life might not last much longer. All the attention on him. His last shot earns the double. No, Stellar. Oh, well, last shot does earn the double, but Stellar earns the trade out, so P still being contested for.
Yeah, Royal 2 wrapping through the courtyard to leave those fridge spawns open. Did not want to more directly influence the next set of spawns. Typically want the opposition to spawn in the fridge, especially when you have teammates P2 like we see at Frosty's positioning here. You can really make their life difficult as they try to get out. Lucid though, able to get 1 onto last shot and somehow turns 2 here. Can he make it 3? Oh, sorry, this is... My bad, that was Cycle with a switch. Cycle was the one getting those kills, but ultimately Space Station do clear them out of their side of the map and should be able to get mid-map control.
Eco goes down at P1. Snakebite on the opposite side of car, eyeing that next camo up in 10, still notched up at 1 here with 8 minutes remaining as Snakebite gets some shots out towards Frosty. Frosty's down to low HP, but he's still aping Snakebite. My God, the confidence couldn't be more clear, but the shot's a little bit better for Snakebite. But it's Cycle. Like, how often, Eli, Frosty, whether he's distracting SSG from stopping a flag score or grabbing the camo, Frosty's been that tip of the spear that's causing all of this distraction and chaos for Space Station.
I don't know if it's Space Station dropping the ball when items are coming up or if it's just Shopify playing this situation so perfectly, but that has been a consistent difference between these two teams is securing the power items. Right now, Space Station really need those to kind of close the gap in a lot of these engagements. They've kept it even though, and I think the Slays are dead even, -1 kill from Snakebite now, dead even It's very impressive how well Space Station have improved game after game, and right now they're looking their best.
Well, this is a little bit of what we saw online, where Space Station will lose the first 2 games, and then in game 3, they start to show you something that makes you think, gives you a little bit of hope. They might just bring it back. They might just make this a series. That's what we're seeing right here. 3 go down for Rebellion. So that 50-yard line has been pushed out into the courtyard for Space Station, and they're eyeing the next run.
Okay, Eco pushing through, gets this kill, but he gets meleeed, which means he can't be as impactful for this play for about 6 seconds. Gets the shields back now, back in the action. Last shot, though, with a great shot that's going to keep him weak. The timing of that shot from last shot is big. Gives a lot of extra space for his squad. Just accomplish things on the map. Eco now hunting down his opponents. Finally, someone finishes that kill, and Space Station are looking good on this. What does Shopify have, though?
Cycle with one of those examples of what we talked about in the beginning. He takes a lot of damage, but he deals out just enough. But he takes so much that, you know, more often than not, he's going down to 1 HP and staying alive somehow. In that instance, went down to 1 shot, kept things in the defense. Oh, he looks just like me when we played matchmaking. Got to throw that back up to a teammate.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to maybe sit as far close to the edge as possible to catch it, but that goes down. Flag is still here. Cycle with some great grenades, perfectly placed and timed, but
almost got that return.
Can he touch it, though?
1 second.
Oh, they got the re.
Right at the feet of Eco's as Space Station. That looked like one that they had all but earned.
Wow, that was a very clutch play from Cycle. Another clutch play from Eco, but Frosty somehow had the line of sight to kill Eco just before he grabbed the flag. Great awareness on the map from both teams. Frosty with another camo, by the way. I don't think Space Station has done a single one yet this game.
3 down for Space Station, so now the tides have tilted back into Rebellion's favor. Eco, though, is alive in the back of Rebellion's base. He's going to get a solo run out, toss that out into the courtyard towards the fridge, pull Rebellion back a little bit. Love that G-slide. 2 of them to extend that flag a little bit further than it should have been. Eco having himself a great run right here. He's playing this one perfectly.
I'm sure that makes you happy as he's on your draft team. He's got 13 kills, and
that's right.
Yep.
I got Eco. I picked Eco.
That's right. I mean, you were forced into the pick because he was all that was left, but
no, I chose Eco. I wanted Eco.
I mean, fair. I think he was severely undervalued in our drafts, to be fair. And my guy Lucid not really doing things right now.
Yeah, Lucid not having the game we're used to seeing from him. As 3 go down for
Lucid
Space Station.
14, not doing great.
Up. We have both flags out.
Other side, you got Royal 2, 7 and 12, 9 assists.
We're approaching the end game. This isn't a next score win scenario, but boy, is this next score going to be very consequential. You take a massive advantage if you get the reset and the cap here with just 4 minutes left.
Yeah, standoff situation. Camo's up, by the way. We've seen how effective.
I love the little hop right there.
Shopify have been at earning. Look how much pressure Royal 2 is causing on the Space Station side of the map, and stays alive. He's fighting that player while backing up, thinking about the next engagement. His sense of timing is pristine, but they will ultimately take him down, and the standoff looks to continue on even further.
1-1. Still with both flags out. Eco with a chance to grab the camo, but he goes down with it. Luce is going to slide onto it, try to grab it. Oh, but he burns it instead. SSG, try as they might, cannot grab power weapons or power-ups. Obviously nothing, no power weapons here on Aquarius, but even in the previous game, Origin, it was all rockets and snipe to Rebellion, and camo, more of the same here in game 3.
Okay, last shots. Goes down. Standoff will continue. This feels like both teams kind of staggering their pushes a little bit, but maybe being forced into it based on the map situation as a whole in each of these engagements. But it's like Shopify are making these 1-by-1 pushes and going down. Next player has to push up, follow up on the damage, and then the cycle repeats itself. I think finally now, Last Shot slows his push down a little bit. Needs to win this one, though, against Stellar. It's going to be a tie as they trade out. And Snakebite with the BR will be able to push some opponents back, rotating back, predicting this player to maybe be on this B side. This is going back and forth. I don't expect this standoff to end anytime soon, to be honest.
1-1 still, And as that clock continues to dwindle away, it gets more and more likely that it is going to be a next 4-win scenario as Snakebite looking to defend his turf and his flag. But my God, the frags come through. 3 go down, make it all 4. And this should be a reset and a cap for Rebellion. Oh no is right, and they might just double it up.
Yeah, they've already got the flag bottom center as well. Perfectly timed, perfectly executed. And when we went 10 minutes without any caps, we get 2 in about 15 seconds.
My God, it was just 1-1 10 seconds ago. And this is looking more and more likely like a clean sweep for Rebellion as they have the 3-1 lead. 1:45 left on the clock. And Space Station going to have to really push all their chips into the middle and try to get across the map. But Rebellion in a situation where if they just contest the 50-yard line and trade out, they'll be in a good spot.
Look at the stats, man. Cycle and last shot. Looking like the new blood of the HCS ready to take over. These guys are absolutely insane. Playing on LAN against some of the best to ever do it and showing out every single game. And Space Station need to get this cap. There is a possible situation here for them to earn this cap and then force an overtime situation to potentially tie it up and force an overtime after regulation. But a couple of kills in favor of Shopify mean that is less and less likely, and that might just be it, Hunter.
Might just be. At the same time, though, it took 10 seconds to score twice, so it's 5x that available for Space Station, but boy, they got to, excuse me, getting choked up a little bit. They got to play flawless Halo here. I'm getting emotional. No, I'm just getting choked up. 3-1 here as Lucid running the flag bottom mid, and here's setting up for exactly what we talked about. You can score twice in 10 seconds, but again, the toss-up is not clean. That's been their undoing twice. They could have had a toss-up twice. Would have tied this one up at 3. It might just be all for naught, though, if Space Station can't put it through. Last shot, all he has to do is get the flag out to Courtyard, and that might just do it.
Yeah, I mean, this flag being not at home, it means this is doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, he can just force this to end now. He's just vibing. Yeah, I expect him to troll right here for the last 5 seconds, just vibing. This very much in last shot fashion. You know what? Make it 4-1 instead of 3-1. That looks a little better for the stat page.
All right, well, we just got our first glimpse, a very good glimpse of what the major could look like here for Shopify Rebellion, who took their first series against Space Station Gaming. Let's talk about what stood out
All right, stream.
to you all overall the most, considering that they just played on LAN against each other.
I'm gonna hop off for a little bit and go get some food. And then I will be back later on tonight, watch another one of these games, and then maybe streaming some D&D later tonight. We will see what the party thinks. So I will catch you all